but then I really admire him for really sticking to what he believes in.
Exactly.
And I really kind of like that about him. And and then they it took him in a different direction, and later on in down the road, and not necessarily one that I enjoyed as much. But I think he was always fun to play, and I mean, I really enjoyed those Antonio Andy days, and those were the good years, and then
right.
And then I don't know. I think there was a little confusion there toward the end on how to write him. But hey, what do I know? I'm just an actor, and I say what's put on a page, and I try to do the best with it, and have as much fun as I can, in hopes that the audience has a good time also.
Oh, we did.
We did.
Yes, David, you had a question?
Yeah. Who was your biggest supporter on One Life to Live?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Who was your biggest supporter?
My biggest supporter?
Yeah.
Can you clarify that? In what respect?
Who took you under their wing to teach you the ropes of daytime?
Oh, I don't know if anyone ever really took me under their wing. I had a really great relationship with Robert Woods, Bob Woods.
Mhm.
And he was certainly one of the guys that I looked up to, and I watched closely. So I think he's one of those guys that just, it's the attraction. He led by example. And and I watched him. You try and watch the guys that are the best, and he's one of them.
Yeah, he is.
So that's how I learned. But I don't think anyone really ever took me under their wing. I think I had too much of a chip on my shoulder to allow that. But anyway, yeah.
What do you miss playing on a soap at all, or what do you miss about it?
No, I don't. I really don't. I miss. I ran into Kristen Alderson today.
Oh, yeah, she's on GH too.
Yeah, I ran into her, and she looked fantastic, and her beautiful smile and her bright big blue eyes, and it was just really good to see her. So, I miss my friends. I miss the people. They're sure. I mean, I don't want to say I don't miss the medium.
Right.
I don't miss the format. But of course, I miss a lot of the people that I met along the way, and we had a lot of fun in those years, and good times, bad times. We were like a very dysfunctional family, And,
yeah.
and when you're cooped up in those dressing rooms in a basement, every single day, 10, 15 hours a day, you become family.
Of course.
And
yeah.
And I miss. I stay in touch with a lot of people still. A few of the guys and a few of the girls, but there's no real reminiscing, if that's what you want to. That's what you want to know. I mean, it is what it is, and we take. I think it's part of moving on, and
right.
And I needed to move on, and that's what I've done, but that being said, I'm so grateful so grateful for the years that I got to be on that show, and humbled by the experience and the fans, and they're really, you know, no one better, and they've always been so kind to me, and so you know, in that respect, I miss it a lot, and but you know, I'm not gone. I've just, you know, I've gone
moved
in a
on.
different direction, you know.
And I'll tell you, soap fans are so dedicated that even when you do leave a soap, we do follow you on to your next projects and are very happy for you when you do get new projects. So that's never an issue.
That tremendously. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that tremendously. I do, and I'm aware of that also. So it's pretty awesome.
Also, I wanted to ask you, when you played Pedro Quinn in Blade to Heat, did you already know how to box?
I knew a little bit. You know, I had taken some boxing and some kickboxing and a little bit of martial arts here and there, and but not to the extent that I had to learn it when to do the play. That was some of the most rigorous training I'd undergone in my entire career. And that was to give you an idea. I was 174 pounds when I arrived in New York, and when I left, I was almost 20 pounds lighter.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, that's a good workout. I know that a lot of people use it as an exercise at kickboxing. I know it's not exactly the same, but you're still moving around, punching through the air and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're boxing, it's tough. It takes its toll, and it's very difficult, and it is a great workout.
Well, what do you do to keep in shape?
I do a little bit of everything nowadays. You know, I get bored easily. I've been training for so long, for so many years that you know, I do yoga, I lift weights, I run, I box, I do a little bit of everything. You know, at my age, it's important to stay strong and agile, and that's the goal. That's what I try to accomplish. You know.
Yep, keep the mind and the body moving so you won't get all old and decrepit, but I can't ever see that happening to you.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears.
Well, I have to tell you, we're almost the same age, and I would do anything to look like what you look like if I was a guy. I noticed on IMDb that you have a movie that you're filming, The Hot Guys with Guns. Can you talk about that at all?
You know, I just did a little cameo for it. It's an independent feature that I did. That a friend of mine wrote and is directing. It's his first venture in that arena, and this guy named Doug Spearman, who's extremely talented. And
I know that name. Where do I know that name from? Unless he's got the same name as someone else.
No, Doug used to work in the marketing department at ABC.
Oh, well, maybe somebody threw it out there. I don't know. It just sounded familiar.
So he wrote and directed it and asked me to do this small role in it, and I did, and we had fun, and I think I think he's got a great product on hand, and you know, it's a great script, and I think when it's all said and done, he's going to have a great film.
Would you ever think about getting behind the camera?
Oh, for sure, and that's hopefully sooner than later.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy that part of the process also, you know. So doing a little writing, and you know, and we'll see what happens. I'm a novice when it comes to all of it, except for the acting part of it. So we'll see what comes of it. You know, I'm just trying to keep myself busy these days and stay creative, and yeah, and have fun. Have fun.
Well, that's really what it's all about. And speaking of having fun, what was it like to work with Angelina Jolie in Salt?
Oh well, I wish I could say I actually worked with her, but I didn't work with her. The stuff that I was supposed to have with her eventually got cut, and then I ended up doing a scene that ultimately also got cut out of the movie. So, yeah. So those are those things. It happens all the time. But my name looks good in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd be lying if I said I was in the movie and Angelina Jolie was great. No, she looked good. She looked great walking across the lot. When I saw her going into her trailer, and that was about all the interaction I had with her.
Well, I have one last question for you, and that is, if Kamar today could meet 16-year-old Kamar, what advice would you give him?
Slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. Yeah, I mean, I tell him don't do anything differently. Just slow down a little bit. That's all.
Enjoy life, smell the roses.
Yeah, listen, I'm pretty happy with who Kamar is today. There's still a lot of room for improvement, but whatever I did at 16 obviously made me who I am today, so I have no regrets.
Yeah.
If I had to go back and tell me, hey, no, I'd pretty much tell him, not to sound arrogant or egotistical or anything like that. I hope it doesn't come across that way. Just that, slow down a little bit, because sometimes you miss things, but otherwise, you're good to go.
Well, no, that's good. That's good. That means you're happy with your life, and that's a good thing. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah.
And that's good advice for anyone, really.
Right? It is.
For sure. We always just learn to slow down and stop and smell the roses once in a while. And, it'd probably do everyone a world of good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much a 16-year-old can slow down at that point in their lives. But
that's true.
I don't know how.
And maybe listen to your parents.
Yeah, hey.
For any 16-year-old, not just you.
I have a 15-year-old, and I learn a ton from him. He teaches me a lot, and so that's a great age. So I don't even know if I would tell him to slow down. I'd just say go for it.
Yeah.
As
long as you truly 100% believe in what you want to do, then I don't see any reason why somebody shouldn't go for what they want to do.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Well, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. It sure was great catching up with you and talking to you about your life, and we wish you only the best in the future. And please join us again when you have your new projects coming up. For sure.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure meeting all three of you, and I want to just give a big shout out to all my fans out there, and thank you for all the great years on One Life to Live, and I look forward to seeing you guys here in the near future.
Thank you. We look forward to it too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Have a good night. Say hi to your wife from us.
We will. I will, for sure.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Oh, such a sweetie. I miss him as Antonio Vega, but I do enjoy watching him on other things, too, Like I mentioned, that one movie, The Way She Moves. Oh, my gosh, I wish they would make more like that and have him in there.
Oh,
Did you ever see it? Did you ever see it, David?
No, I didn't get to see it yet.
Oh, you got to find it at the video store or something, or Netflix, or however they do movies these days.
Yeah,
Some way. He has, he has such